Coming to the fourth part of this interview series, which is on innovations and future directions. So, Dr. Thorad, as the landscape of education continues to evolve, how do you envision the role of online platforms and digital learning in addressing the demand for career skills?
Yes, very good question, Roshan. I would suggest that several innovative approaches and trainings have a potential to shape the career of the student, and this is a need of an hour. That unless and until you are not getting out of a traditional training, you are not getting yourself prepared for the industry need. And in this online training, I would suggest whatever the skilling or innovative approaches are required. The very first, I would suggest the online learning platforms.
Okay.
Because post-pandemic, the scenario has completely changed, where we can see the major players, even the industries like Infosys, they have come into the online learning platform.
Right.
And they are welcoming students to avail the facilities which they are providing, and most of them are maybe free of cost. I could name some of them, like NPTEL is there, which has been run by the government, central government. Then we have Springboard, which has been run by Infosys. Then we have Future Skills and many more into the line. So I personally feel that online learning platforms plays a very vital role in shaping the career. And then I would suggest virtual reality and augmented reality platforms. These are the platforms which have altogether changed the entire perspective of training. Right. Because in virtual and augmented reality, in VR and AR, now student can get a real-time feedback of whatever the performance they are doing. They can train themselves. Even nowadays, student can, with the help of the simulation, student can even learn how to fly an aircraft. Sure. They can learn how to work into actual industries. So this, I personally feel, online learning platforms, virtual reality and augmented reality platforms, they are very innovative things which a student should not get away from this. Students should include these things into their day-to-day learning part. Instead, I won't say instead of, but apart from classroom teaching and learning, or from the learning which they are getting from universities, they must focus on online platforms. They must focus on virtual reality, augmented reality. Nowadays, there is a boom of artificial intelligence.
Right.
One has to learn the artificial intelligence to stay into the competition.
Right.
Now, it is not a piece of cake, or it is not your cup of tea. It is now becoming mandatory that if you are not learning the artificial intelligence in your day-to-day work, you will be thrown out of your work. So that has to be there. That innovative approach student must apply. Then even many industries or many training institutes or industries, I would suggest, they are coming with a concept of gamifications.
Right.
When a student have to learn the things of which they will be getting a badges, they will be getting a leaderboards wherein their names can be floated. They are getting a various scorecard rewards wherein their names are being listed. So such things has to be inculcated by the students in their day-to-day learning. And gamification, I personally feel, if you perform a particular training, you get a badge. You can do a promotion of your own learning skills. You can use the professional platforms like LinkedIn. You can use your personal social media profiles wherein you can portray that you have received this badge, you have earned this badge, you can receive the leaderboards of that particular competition. So gamification again is something which is very helpful in an innovative approach for learning. Then I would say micro-learning is also one of the part, that now people don't have that much time to get at a stretch traditional training of maybe 30, 60 or maybe whatsoever time. So now instead of that, we must always keep ourselves engaging into a micro-learning concept. When a small technology you get, maybe to the tune of 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you just go through that particular learning session and you get that technology very, very well. And in this way, because most of the time what happens, just to get entered into that traditional training of maybe 60, 70 or 100 hours, students or the learners get hesitant. that will they sustain for that much time, will they remain in the training for that much time, will they learn, or will they definitely will they get an insight from such a long training. So micro learning is a very good concept where students can enter. Then in innovative approach, I also feel the virtual labs and remote labs are there, because we also use this for our communication skills practical, wherein the students get their they can spend, even if they are spending a time on that particular virtual lab, maybe for an hour, and they are getting a very good hands-on experience on that. And these are some things which I personally feel that these are the innovative approaches which may help in shaping the future.
Absolutely. So these are, of course, all the points that the students should take an initiative and do it. So colleges' hands are restricted because of UGC and university guidelines and everything.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
it's the students' prerogative to put in their own effort, time, and investment into all of this to get a solid foundation and then lead a solid career from there. So
Exactly. Sure.
we bang on target. Now, in your opinion, what are the key priorities or focus areas for a higher educational institution to effectively address the challenges and demands for career skilling in India from the college's perspective?
Okay. From college's perspective, the very first thing I would like to quote is that upgradation in a curriculum.
Okay.
Yeah, that cannot be done overnight, but slowly, the things are getting in at place due to maybe the national education policy or the new reforms which the HRD has initiated in that sector. So definitely updated curriculum, and that has to be industry relevant.
Okay.
That could be the very, very first focus area wherein the colleges and the all the governing authorities should focus first. Then faculty development has to be there, because see, if you assume this, if I personally quote the reference of my university caters around 4 lakh students. So to reach to this 4 lakh students, I'm talking about my university, means Amravati University.
Right.
Now, my university is catering 4 lakh students. Now, how we can reach to this 4 lakh students? Definitely through faculty.
True. Very true.
This is very difficult for a single person or for a single organization to approach to this 4 lakh students. So only the faculties are there who are very in close connect with the students.
Okay.
These are the only person, or these are the only bridge who will be carrying or who will be implementing the national education policy or whatever the HRD policies are there to the students.
Right.
So it should be an ultimately focus area wherein the faculty development has to be done.
Okay.
Because all these policies definitely will be of no use if your faculty is not developed, or if your faculty is not capable of delivering these things to the students.
Right.
Because the intentions of governments and intentions of higher authorities are always in the well-being of students. But to whom you are serving, so we are serving to the faculty. So faculty development has to be the focus area. Because that gist and whatever the intensity of that particular policy, that should reach to the student in the same manner. Then I could say technology integration. Because whatever the technologies we are, or the innovative approaches we are discussing, maybe this machine learning, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality, online platform, but somewhere the technology integration has to be done by the college also. College must promote the students, college must promote, if we are talking about online platform facilities or online learning platform, so definitely student must be provided with such equipments wherein they can learn online. Because many colleges or many regions of our nation, or you can say many regions of our state, of Maharashtra, they are still striving for internet connectivity. They are still not getting the basic maybe desktop for their learning purposes. So when we are one side, when we are talking about the online platform or online learnings, it is the full responsibility, the focus area that we should that an organization or colleges should also digitalize their institute first.
True.
So that the student could avail those particular technologies. Then I would say just implementing this, all this discussed point or all these technologies or approaches is not fine, or it won't lead to any result unless and until there is a continuous evaluation of this entire process. this entire process has to be continuously evaluated. Whether whatever the things, it's not like that once you have set a digitalized college or digitalized lab in your college, but what is the output of it? Are really student availing the facilities, or whatever the facilities students are availing? Are those information or knowledge benefit, students are getting benefit out of it? So continuous evaluation has to be there. So these are the focus area I personally feel that one should focus on.
I think they are great points. Curriculum, faculty development. I think they have a direct relation to the outcome of the students' career. They have a direct impact. Very rightly said. Great. Leading on to the next question, how do you plan to leverage your expertise and experiences, Dr. Thorat, to contribute to a broader discussion and initiative aimed at these career scaling gaps in India? How can you in your capacity create an impact on all this, given the current resources?
A very good question. And this is I would say this is a responsibility for people like me, that whatever the things we serve for an industry or people are expecting, because students also do see us with an expectations. Their parents also do see us with an expectation. Industry also do have an expectation from us that what student will be providing. So for getting all those expectations in line, we always I always prefer and suggest that there should be a continuous interaction meets with within the industries and academy.
True.
So we can term it as an industry academic meet, we can term it as an academic industry meet. So we always have an HR meet in our college, where in which we allow or we invite the industry experts, and we ask them to discuss on whatever the problems which the industry is facing, whatever the suggestions they want to give to the education industry. So through HR meets, this discussion can be made on a broader platform. Then III meets can be there, industry institute, this interactions, this all HR meet, and we do curtail the questions or we curate the questions in accordance, like they also get benefited of it and we also get benefited. Means for a small example, now there is a boom of maybe ChatGPT or artificial intelligence, and there is also a myth or whatever the parallel rumors going into the market that they are going to take job of humans. So we do call industry experts and we ask them these questions and we allow them to answer this to the entire students or to entire academicians. That what will be the scenario? What will be the actual scenario if this technology is getting into the market, or will this technology exist? So this helps us. Then at the same time, we also allow our student for industrial visits. We take the permission for industry and we simply don't visit the industry.
Right.
What we do, whenever we are planning for an industrial visit, we do connect with the HR, we do connect with the technical team, and we ask them whatever the problem they are facing, anything which they can share, which they can tell us in a public domain, any particular project or any particular problem they are working on, any particular product they are working on. We try to get the insights from them, and definitely only those things which are not confidential, which they can share in the public domain, means there is no security breach. So we take the real-time problem from them and we ask a student, a group of students, to work on that particular real-time problem.
Okay.
And they come up with a solution. They come up maybe with a multiple solutions, and then we request the industry for an industrial visit, wherein we will be giving, but we'll try to portray what the efforts we have taken on the problem which you are facing. Okay. And definitely that helps us a lot. And industry has very well appreciated this initiative. Instead of simply going there and looking at the infrastructure, we don't term it as an industry visit. Whenever we are going for an industry visit, we always want that industry should come up and they should share their problem, and we should, as an accommodation, we should understand their problem and try to solve the problem. So this is one of the thing which we have in practice and which has helped us a lot. Students are getting benefited, industries are getting a very good, I could say, the impression on that. And at the same time, being an academician, what we usually do, we organize the conferences.
True.
We organize the seminars, we organize the workshop, but in conferences, we also invite the researchers to contribute to the certain problems which are there. Maybe technological boom, or maybe slowdown in the employability recruitment, or recruitment for. So this, by keeping the subject line in such a matter, so we do organize the conferences wherein this particular problems can be discussed on a broader level. So these are the initiatives we usually take to leverage. I personally, I suggest and I always recommend and take this to leverage my expertise.
True, absolutely. I think that's a great input from your end, and results are only something that keep coming in periodically, I suppose. The efforts.
Yes, exactly.
True. Great. Now, considering the rapidly changing job market, right? There's something or the other new coming up. What steps do you believe individuals and institutions should take to stay agile and responsive to emerging skill requirements? Like you mentioned earlier, ChatGPT is come, other technological booms are happening. So what can these students and institutions do together to remain at the top of these emerging requirements, skill requirements?
Yeah, a very good question. I personally feel to stay agile and responsive to this emerging skills or whatever the technologies are coming into the market. The very first thing that a learner or organization or the authority should do, that they should foster the flexibility. Okay. Because once you get rigid into your learning, things are gone very drastically bad. So you must always try to be as flexible as you are in terms of learning. Second, I would suggest that one should engage himself or herself into networking.
Okay. True.
Because sitting in isolation doing miracles, gone are those days when people will come to you and approach you. Now you have to be always engaged in the networking. You have to be always in a promotional mode wherein you are promoting your technologies, wherein you are showing the world what you people are doing, what you have. Because nowadays I personally feel networking has to be a skill into a syllabus.
Right.
That has to be included into a syllabus, because most of the people, students basically, they don't realize the importance of networking.
Right.
Then I would say leverage the technology as well. Whatever the technology is coming into the way, you should leverage it. You should accept it. You should not run away of it, because most of the time it happens whenever the new technology comes, the very first thing as a human we do is we resist it.
Right. True.
Or we try to resist it.
That's the first response. True.
That is the first response, and that is a natural response, because and therein the actual scene comes that you are hesitating to learn the things.
Right.
So whenever a technology is coming across, you should always accept it. You should always leverage it. You should always try to get into that technology, and you should neither even if you are mastering to the technology, but at least try to get accustomed with that technology.
True.
So this I would suggest. And lastly but not least, adaptability.
True.
One has to be very adaptive in terms of learning, whether it is in terms of your geographical locations, in terms of your technology, in terms of culture, in terms of your dietary habits even.
Right.
All these things, they has to be adaptive, because if you are not adaptive to the environment which you have been placed or you have been about to place, so things will get very difficult. True. So I personally feel, just to stay agile and responsive to the emerging skills, this has to be there.
True. I absolutely agree with that. I think evolution is a case and example where humans have evolved from monkeys to what we are.
Yeah.
We have to continuously evolve and adapt to everything that is happening around us. Otherwise, we are going to be left in the dust. True.
Yes.
Great. On a concluding note, what message would you like to impart to students, educators, and policymakers regarding the importance of investing in career skilling and training for the future workforce of India?
Yeah. A very, very nice question and a very responsible question for me to answer. I being a very small part of this entire fraternity. But I would like to suggest on a concluding note that being a student, when it comes to a student must always focus on gaining the relevant skill and always focus on investing in learning the new skills. Because the best investment which a student can do is that he should always be in a position, he should be always in a mindset that he should invest on learning the skill. This is the message I would like to give to the students. And as a student, they also have to stay adaptive, always open to learn and always stay adaptive. That would be the mool mantra for their better career, better future, better job and better performance. And for educators, I would suggest being an educator, or to all educators, I would suggest much more focus should be given on practical skills.
Absolutely.
Theoretical skills should be minimized as much as possible, and more prioritizations or more focus should be given on the practical skills. Unless and until students are not getting an exposure, because what they are supposed to do in the industry, that has to be mocked during the education itself.
Sure.
Because if they are been not mocked, they are been not trained on the practical skills, they are ultimately they are wasting the time of industry as well as they are wasting their own time.
Sure.
And lastly, for the policymaker, I would suggest whatever the policies are being made, that has to be aligned with the industry and with the relevant, I should say, that has to be relevant with the industry trends. Absolutely. For the policymaker, I would suggest. So these are the 3 suggestions. For student, I would say always invest in learning, always stay adaptable. For educators, I would say focus on practical skills.
Right.
Minimize the theoretical skills and much more focus should be on practical skills. And lastly, for the policymaker, I would say invest in such an educational policy which are aligned and relevant with the industry. And this all together definitely can bridge the gap than whatever the skill gap we are facing in India. Definitely we will have a better employment or better employability perspective in India.
Absolutely, and I completely agree with you on that bit, because if all the elements that you mentioned, if they are weaved together and given India's growth story right now, with the way India is becoming really prominent on the global scale, so there's definitely going to be a demand. Meeting the demand with the right skill set is of utmost importance, and all the elements that you mentioned are a contributing factor to lead and match the demand and skill gap that is there.
Yes, exactly.
So great. Well, Dr. Thorat, a really insightful conversation again on this one. I really appreciate
thank you so much.
You sharing all the important points, and I hope that this video reaches the right people, and there are some changes made at all the 3 levels. The students, the educators, and the policy levels. So I definitely hope for that.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
And even I would like to thank you for giving me an opportunity to reach to the masses. It's and you took out your time and you listened to me, and you are also I would like to congratulate you people that you are really doing a very social job.
Thank you.
That you are allowing us to reach to the people, those who actually require what they are deprived of. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart to you and your.
It's our pleasure. Absolutely our pleasure. Thank you so much, Dr. Thorat.